Hi, everybody. It's Joy Packard. How are you guys doing? I just got done with a live training for my Simple Zon Seller conference group. We had an incredible webinar tonight. We had an expert come on to teach about how to use credit card points, and it was awesome. And so, one of the things that I love is when things fall in place. And believe me, not every day, not all the time do things fall in place. They don't. We have things that happen in our life where we have those days, right, where we just want to crawl right back into bed. So, I do have those days. Don't think that it's always perfect. But today was amazing. Last night I had hi Cynthia. I had talked to you guys a little bit about mind mapping. If you haven't watched that live video, you should. I'm going to be actually recording a podcast about it. But what is so exciting to me is to see some of those branches on my mind map come to pass. So it's super exciting because we have things that we have in our head, right? We have things that we think about. We have things that we want to see come to pass, whether it's in our business, whether it's a health goal, whether it is hi Mary, whether it is anything. It's just we have certain goals that we want to do, and we have them on our mind map. Right? And so today, I had things just fall in place for me today. And one of my branches, and I'll share that with you down the road later on of what that is. But what's exciting is whenever you put it down on paper, you put it on your mind map, right? And you have your ideas and your goals. And then suddenly one day, like today, one of the things that I've been trying to do for about 2 months, and like I said, I'll share that with you once it launches, but it's one of my branches on my mind map for my business, right? And today, I've been trying to find this specific location for what I'm trying to do, and then just nothing was coming up, and then lo and behold, it just happened, and then other things happened with it. But that's not even the point. The point of the matter is that we have certain things that we want to happen. And when we think about it and we focus on it, and that's what we think about all day, when we sleep, when we write it down, when we write our mind maps, it's so interesting that it will, it's just like when you put your focus on it, then more likely you're going to have it happen. Right? Because what you focus on expands, right? So if you're thinking about it, whatever it is, if you have like a goal, let's just say about your health, about how you want to feel, how you want to look, what is it that you want to do? It's like when you have that goal, you have that picture, you have those goals down. It's like now, whenever you see it happening, I remember when I was training for a marathon, right? And I remember seeing the running plan, and every day it was like, okay, today you're going to run this. Now you're going to run walk. Now today you're going to, and it just built upon it on day by day. And then every day was like, add another mile or add this or add that. And it was so neat because I thought, oh my goodness, I'm running, and now I'm running even faster, and now I'm running even longer, right? And so it built upon it. And that's what you can do with your life, with your goals, with your mind mapping skills, right? With the things that you want to accomplish. And so, like I say, I have days that are terrible. We all do, right? But we have days where sometimes they just fall in place. And today was one of those days, and I was so happy. I'm just going to finish it off later on after this video to cap it off, but it's something that I have been working so hard at, right? And people start showing up in your life, the people that you meet. I'll give you an example. I went to a Dallas women's retreat a few weeks ago. It was amazing. I love all the women that were there, right? There's one lady in particular who now I'm going to be, with her in her coaching program, as far as with my business and other things that I do with my, different things that I do. And that would have never happened if it wasn't something that I said to myself, this is what I need to be doing, right? And so it's really, really neat when that happens. And so that had to do with personal life or whatever. And then, you have your business life and you say, okay, whatever goal that is that you're talking about with your business, let's just say, I don't know, maybe your goal is to do something that can make your house payment, that can make your car payment, that can whatever that amount is for you, right? And so whenever we have that as a goal, we think about it, we write it down, we have our journals. We have our journals that whenever we get discouraged that says that's because I can. Hi B. I was just talking about Dallas just a while ago. She was one of the ones I ate lunch with when I went there. So, whatever it is that you need to do to help yourself, pick yourself up, because we're going to have our bad days and we're going to have our days when we're just like, I just don't want to do today. Right. And that's okay. Just do whatever you need to do to make it through, and then know that you have tomorrow to begin again. And so I always have these amazing journals around there, and all of them have little sayings on there. And this one I love because I can. And so, a lot of times, we get discouraged whenever we're doing certain things, whether it's in our business, whether it's our health goal. Maybe we're tired. We want to run this marathon and we're training and we start running and we're like, why am I doing this? Right. Or what if it's learning how to play the piano and you just get down there and you're playing and you're just like, man, this is just, I don't know. So when I have those days when things don't fall in place, I just tell myself, I have a day that today is one of those days, and it's just one of those days that is not the day that things fall in place. But we try not to let it discourage us. And I know, believe me, I know I've had, failure after failure in my life, whether it's in business, whether it's some kind of musical instrument that I'm trying to learn, or, I can make a list all day long of all the different failures that have happened in my life. But it's because of those failures that has made me become stronger, right? And so in your life, as you have your failures and your defeats, and you have certain things that are, just so hard in your life, that just, this is so hard, and you say, man, I just don't know if I can make it. Just know that sooner or later, I love the quote or the saying that says, it will come to pass, right? So sooner or later, what goes up must come down. So, we have to tell ourselves that. We have to tell ourselves that, yes, that this is difficult, but the rewards are so amazing if we just hang in there, right? And it's interesting because that's how our life is, right? We have these valleys, and we have these peaks, and we have these valleys of our successes and our defeats, and sometimes when we're down here and we're just waiting for it to go back up. It's just down there in this little valley that it's really hard sometimes to get back up, right? And so I tell you that as hard as it is and everything that we do, sooner or later it will just, what I do is I just say, all right, you know what? Today is hard. I'm just going to sit by the pool and I'm just going to start over tomorrow. And tomorrow I'm just like what B's saying, small steps. We all have so much to do in a day. I don't care who we are so busy, but every single one of us have 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We all have the same amount of time, and it's how we spend our time and whatever we're doing. Right. And so whenever we feel that overwhelmment, when we feel that disappointment, when we're in that valley of, when we talked about this valley of going up and down, and when we're in that little valley and we just feel so discouraged, and we have our discouraging times, every single one of us, and we just want to give up. That's whenever we need to become the strongest, right? And that's, I look back at my life and I look back at all of that today. That's exactly right, Terry. Fail today, leap forward tomorrow. It's perfectly great quote. Thank you for that. And, I'm trying to think of some examples in my life. And, I always like to use my running examples because it was so hard for me. I don't know why I wanted to run a marathon. I just did. It was just one of those goals. And I remember, days of tears. And I remember running my marathon and being on mile 21, and wanting to just give up, right? Because it just got so hard. And I think about that in our life when we have things that are so hard, right? It's hard. Life is hard, right? But knowing that things are going to be hard makes it a little easier to know that we can just get back up the next day, the next moment, the next mile. So I was talking about my mile 21. I always go back to my marathon, and mile 23, the two hardest times of my marathon. I remember my quads. I was dying. I remember I was like running, and when I was like on mile 9, I was chugging along, this is awesome. I'm going to be doing great. Mile 12, mile 13, I hit the half marathon. And then, I hit that mile 21, and I was running with a friend, and I remember telling him, I said, man, I don't know. I might have to crawl. It's how much it hurt. He's like, no, you can do it. Get up, And then when I was at mile 23, I could hear my sister. My sister was cheering me on, 'cause she was calling me. I was calling her, telling her, okay, I'm on mile this or whatever. And I can hear her screaming my name. Oh, you can do this. She was at the finish line. You can do this, just get back up. You can do this. And I remember, I was like, oh, that's my sister, and I was like, I remember it was just like hurting. I was running. I was like limping. I literally was limping. I was like, oh my goodness, why is this so hard? This is only another 5K. 3.1 miles is all I had left. And I wanted to just say, you know what? Everybody's done. I'm like one of the last, probably in the last group to get done, and I had to tell myself at that moment, to just keep on going as hard as it was. I was like, just get up, just keep going. I know it hurts, but keep going. And I want to tell you something. When I crossed that marathon finish line, the very last bits of the race, I had my children there, some of my children, and they were running alongside me. You can do it, Mom. Good job. I was thinking, wow, the encouragement and the feeling of accomplishment for being able to do that. I will never forget it. I'll never do another one again. I don't want to. I have no desire to run another marathon. I thought about doing an Ironman just to, because it was the ultimate one, but I had that goal. And it took me a year. It took me a year to train. It took me a year every single day to get back up when it was hard. And so I love using that example for you, because I know that there are many of us, including myself, and many of you who are listening and who also will be listening to this. And if you're listening to this on replay, please use hashtag replay. That way I know it's a replay, and that would help me a lot. And, I love looking back at that and at my time of my life, because whenever things are kind of hard, and when we feel like things are not going as planned, and it does happen, right? Then I think of my marathon, and I think of mile 23, and I think of that example of just getting back up and keeping on to finish, right? So today is one of those days of being able to reach one of those on one of my branches of my business. It has nothing to do with Amazon, which many of you know I do Amazon, and I have different multiple streams of income that I teach in my Simple Zone Seller event, and in my membership site, we talk about different ways to make money online. Super neat. And today I'm beginning. I found, what I needed to begin. And I'm so excited, because it's like, this was hard, and I only had 5 more days to meet a deadline, and I met it. I had to do what I'm doing within 60 days. And, I got an email saying, all right, you have 5 days, or you're going to lose this particular credit bonus, or you're going to lose this particular opportunity if you don't do it within 5 days. And I thought, I have to do this. I'm not going to give up now. I've been trying for 2 months, to make this work, and it just wasn't working. And I don't know why. And then all of a sudden today it happened. And so my thought for you tonight, my podcast, I should be recording this on my podcast, is I want you to think of mile 23. And I want you to think about that in your own life whenever times get hard, whenever you have things that are so super hard in your life. And remember that there is a finish line. and that you have a lot of pain when you're going through it sometimes, and you have things that are not going your way to where you just want to throw your hands up in the air and just say, I give up. I don't want to do this anymore. And I will tell you that that happens to me a lot. About, what is it, a month ago? I literally, on this very subject that happened today, so this very thing that happened today, I literally, a month ago, I told my husband, I said, honey, I give up. I don't want to do it. It's too hard. It's just not happening, right? And I remember him telling me, honey, you are not a giver upper. Is that a word? Hi, Lena. And the no excuses, don't give up. Exactly right. And I remember feeling that a month ago, the feeling of giving up, the feeling of just giving in. And I remembered mile 23. And I have that mile 23 in my head, in my life, and said, you know what? Get back up. Get back up, because life is hard, and all things are not going to be easy, right? Not anything that's worth it in life is going to be easy. And so whatever it is that you're doing right now, whether it's Amazon, or whether it's your business, or whether it's relationship issue, or whether it's your health, or whether it's anxiety, or whether it is, school or a job or finances, whatever it is, there are so many areas of our life that are super hard. And sometimes we just want to throw our hands up in the air, and say, I give up. But from now on, I hope that you can remember mile 23. And you can say, I remember that one time Joy was doing a Facebook Live and she talked about mile 23. So when things are hard, maybe you can make a little note card and just put mile 23, and hope that it can encourage you to just get back up. And if it's hard that day and you don't feel like doing it, like I felt a month ago, go to sleep and go get a manicure or pedicure or whatever it is that you like to do, massage, go to Cancun, whatever it is, write in your journal, sit by your pool, and just take a break from that particular task and say, you know what, this is hard right now. And right now, I feel like I can't do it, but tomorrow I'm just going to get right back up, because I am not a quitter. And I know that if other people have done this before, that I can do it as well, because they are no different than me or you, right? So, great, B. That's right. You know what? Shopify is a struggle, but guess what? I met this guy in China, and his name is Erwin, real good friend. He is, he struck it lucky, he said. I don't think it's just lucky. I think he just, he knew what to do, and he kept on going. And he went from zero to millions of dollars in a Shopify store within a 6 to 8 month period. It was amazing. And so, we each have something that we're struggling with. And I want you to think about it right now as we're on this. You can close your eyes if you want to, and think about that struggle. What is that struggle that you're struggling with right now? And know that you're at mile 23. You're going through the pain, you're going through the struggles, and you're going through the feelings of wanting to give up. And don't. That's what I'd have to tell you, So, man, when I get this microphone in front of me after I just did a training for Simples on Seller members, and I just get so excited when I talk to you, especially, I just know that if you truly want something, whether it's Shopify, whether it's your health, whether it's abs, which I still haven't figured that one out yet. After having 8 kids, I still need to find my abs, and I'm hoping to find it by the time I'm 50 in October. I'm starting my Fit by 50 challenge on August the 1st, which is 90, gives me a roughly 90 days or so to get back on track. And so, whatever it is that you want to do, even if it's one thing, exactly, Lena, you don't give up. You think of mile 23. I want you to remember the story that I'm teaching you guys here today, or sharing with you rather, and know, because one of these days I'm going to share a Facebook Live with you where I'm not excited about something. And I have done that before, maybe this time last year or something. It was really, really, really tough, or whenever it was when my father passed away a few years ago, and it was really, really tough for me. It was tough for me to do things. I couldn't function. And I remember the feeling that I had. And I remember feeling like I just wanted to quit everything that I was doing. And so we all go through those times, no matter what stage of life that we're in, we all go through it. We all go through something. And so, no, again, and I want you to have that visual of our little peaks and our valleys of going up and down. And sometimes we're in that little valley, and any day now, any moment, we're going to be going back up, right? So there you go. Wow, that turned into a little longer than I wanted, but very passionate about that subject. And I should name this video Mile 23. Thank you, Lena, for all your comments and for all of those who participated. I always love sharing my thoughts with you. If you have not downloaded my podcast yet, it's called Joy Reveals. You can just look it up on iTunes, download it, and not just subscribe, but I'd appreciate if you would leave a review. It bumps to show up. Joy Reveals, iTunes on your iPhone, and the Android app, you can download the Stitcher app, the Android phone rather. And so pretty soon we're going to be going to more platforms, but for now, that's what they're on. And we have, I think, 21 episodes? I can't remember. I could be wrong. I don't remember how many episodes, but kind of few that we're building, and I love to talk about this stuff. So thank you, Lena. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, B. Thank you all for joining on this evening. It's almost 9:00 on what is today? Thursday evening. And so thanks for your nice words, everybody. And I appreciate you. I always appreciate you guys tuning in. And I appreciate those who have tuned into the podcast. All right. Take care. Talk to you soon.